Hey everyone, Lieutenant Dan here. We're back in Spyro the Reignited Trilogy where we're continuing Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Now, unfortunately, in the recording of this episode, my audio, both of my voice and of the in-game audio, went kaput. So this is a dub. I'm piping in some of the original soundtrack music, but the sound effects might not be there and we might have to get creative with the voice acting of the characters in the game. But today is an exciting episode that I wanted to make sure to salvage as best we can, because today we're doing two of my favorite levels. That's Breeze Harbor and also the paired level, Zephyr. And I'll get into why I think those levels are great once we get into the levels. But it's also important because after this episode, everything that we're seeing in Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage is new to me. Not new, because I've played Ripto's Rage many times in my youth, but the Reignited Trilogy version is new to me, and I have not seen anything after this level. So, we're on the cusp of something, and we're jumping into Breeze Harbor. I don't know why, but I always start with that level over Zephyr. Okay, and here we are in Breeze Harbor, and in this level, the Breeze Builders, those birds, are under attack from these landlubbers who are spitting water. The Breeze Builders have cool steam-powered technology, which is all fueled by fires, and of course, the landlubbers are putting those out with water, as you just saw in the video. This is the part where I was looking for the first dude, trying to figure out where the guy was I'm supposed to talk to. And then I remembered, he's right there, so we will go back and talk to him. Please excuse the mess, Spyro. We are currently suffering from a land blubber infestation. First they put out the fires on our boilers, and now they've shut down our ship too. If you could stoke up the fires under the boilers, I'm sure you could make your way to the ship. The steam from the boilers will activate our highly advanced machinery. There you go. Yes, I'm going to do my best to just voice act those lines, because why not? It's better than nothing at all, I guess. So, why do I like this level and the next level, Zephyr? Well, I think we've already talked about the different approach to world building and level design between the first Spyro game and this Spyro game. But basically, in the first Spyro game, you had the home world and you had the individual worlds connected to it. Now, those individual worlds thematically all connected back to the home world. Like, we had the Peacekeeper's home world, which was a desert, and then most of the levels connected to that home world were also desert. So it felt like the worlds were all connected. Now, in Spyro 2, they threw that out the window and decided instead to make each level unique and unconnected from the homeworld. So the benefit of that is they could do more varied and unique things in each level, but the downside is the levels no longer feel connected. So to compensate for that disconnection, the designers of Ripto's Rage actually doubled down on the uniqueness of each level, giving each level its own characters, its own narrative, its own problem that Spyro has to solve. So the end result is you end up investing in each level for the level's sake, not just because it connects to the larger story. In fact, the larger story of Ripto's Rage is pretty minimal. Ripto is in Avalar, Spyro has to unlock the path to get to him, and then he kicks his butt. Like, not a whole lot happens, but in each level, there's its own mini-story. Now, personally, I like this a lot. I think that's a really smart move by the developers, and a very cool way to do world building. Not that I disliked the Spyro 1 approach, I liked it just fine, but you can do so much more with this approach. But the developers did not stop there. Even though all of the levels in Ripto's Rage stand apart and on their own, they added some small connections throughout the levels that still tie things together in small ways. So for example, in Summer Forest, the first homeworld, we've got the level Colossus and we've got the level Idle Springs. Now those levels are not connected directly, but it's clear from playing it that the locals that you help in each level are some kind of distant cousins or something. Like, they're clearly the same type of creature, so there's that thread of connection. Then you've got Sunny Beach and Aquaria Towers, not connected levels, but they're being attacked by the same bad guys. So again, there's a thread of connection even if the levels aren't directly connected. Pause to talk to this guy. Those land blubbers have littered these metal spike mines all over the harbor. If you can clear them out, I'll give you this orb I found in the clam yesterday. Sorry, I'm just having fun with it. So, last episode, we went to Skelos Badlands and Crystal Glacier. Again, these are two levels that are not directly connected. However, it's clear that the cavemen are the same, not the exact same cavemen, but I mean they're the same type of people. So there's a small connection, which brings us to this level, Breeze Harbor, and the next level we're going to do, Zephyr. Now, in this instance, the game devs gave us not a small thread of connection between them. These levels are directly connected because the bad guys in this level, the land blubbers, are actually the good guys in Zephyr. And the good guys in this level, the breeze builders, are actually the bad guys in Zephyr. They're literally two worlds at war with each other. And even though these aren't like my favorite levels by themselves, the fact that they have that direct connection I always thought was super cool and definitely left a lot to the imagination of young me playing this game. So it's not so much that these are my favorite levels by themselves, but they're definitely ones that I remember super well and enjoyed a lot in my youth because of their connection to each other. Also, the irony that in each level, you're helping one side defend against the other, so you kind of just trade sides. Thanks, Spyro. Here's that orb I promised. Sorry if it still has clam juice on it. Bleh, that's gross. Okay, so that was a really long explanation about why I like these levels. We should probably talk about the levels themselves. First thing is that for some reason I was getting some sort of lighting bug throughout this whole level. So if you see the flickering or shadows changing, that's what was going on. I don't know why. But I do appreciate the creativity of how the devs made it that these birds, who can already fly, insist on flying through steam power. And especially this right here. You're sitting on a boat with a sail that's being pushed by this giant fan behind you. I think we'll see that later. But one, they're already birds. They can already fly. But two, they never actually explain how the boat is actually staying up, only how it's being pushed forward. Anyway, their steam machinery is pretty cool. And once we have enough spirit points or whatever, we'll be able to go up there and do one of the most infamous and iconic minigames of Ripto's Rage, the trouble with the trolley. And oh my goodness, if there's one thing that I feel like most people remember from this game, it's the trouble with the trolley challenge. So as I was going through, I actually was taking out enemies really quickly, and I kind of missed a cool feature of the game because the land blubbers are all armed with water. You got the fireman dude with the hose, and then you got the dude in the bucket who hops around and he'll spit water. Your job this whole time is to light the fires, and if you light a fire while a land blubber is still nearby, he actually will come back and put it out with his water, which was a cool thing. But I didn't really showcase that. I kind of just rushed through the level. So we've seen the steam-powered whirlwind, then the steam filled up the puddle, then the steam activated the flying boats. Just there, the steam activated the catapult, and now we are on their big flying ship, which, when we light the fire, the steam allows this ship to fly, which was the main objective of this whole level. Also, this guy's evading me a long time. There we go. And then we can light the fires. And there she goes. She rises up. And the HD remake ship does look a lot cooler than the original. And then off to one side, we can now go talk to this guy. Thanks for getting our ship fired up, Spyro. Now we can proceed with our counterattack on Zephyr. Please take this talisman as a token of our gratitude. Also, I can't guarantee that that's at all what these characters sound like, especially in the Reignited Trilogy. If anything, I'm probably basing it off of voices from the original game. Which, fun fact, the breeze builders in the original were voiced by the same guy who voiced Hunter. So here we go, up top, where we get to do the last orb mission of this level, and luckily, we didn't do too bad at it. How lucky for me that you came along. My machinery is broken and the gears I need to repair it are scattered all over the tracks. Could you hop on that trolley up there and collect them for me? Should have said no. I should have just said no. Okay, so this is a mini game where you're on the cart. It's one of those where you're kind of locked into the track, but with the movement keys, you can change lanes, or you can jump, or you actually have a cannon on the front that you can shoot with, like that, and like that. And unfortunately, we did not beat this minigame on our first try, but that's okay, because it's not until you fail at this minigame that you hear the iconic line, "Trouble with the trolley, eh?" Sorry, it's just... I didn't expect that I would be actually recording myself saying that terrible, iconic line, and it's not a bad line, it's just funny because most of us, when we played this game in the original, heard that line over and over and over, because for some reason, this minigame would always take so long. The good news is, either because I'm an adult or because I've played it fairly recently, we actually beat this on our second try. The reason we lost last time is because of this. They put stuff in your path. And there's two options. One is a box, one is an explosive container. If it's a box, you can't shoot it, you have to jump over it. If it's an explosive container, you have to shoot it, you can't jump over it. But you use your cannon to change which way the lanes are going. And then you do a little circuit around basically the whole map. So here we had to jump. Then we went down this way. You gotta swap lanes real fast. Here's a TNT barrel. That one we had to shoot. And another one. So now we're back and we have to loop around again. So part of the problem is there's 50 gears to collect and you have to do it in a perfect run. Because if you get to 49 and then lose, too bad. You gotta start from scratch. And that was a big reason why it was so challenging as a kid. But we're doing remarkably well on this run. All we have to do is shoot the lane change sign when we get to it, and I think we're done. There's a box, we jump, and we shoot the arrow, and there we go. 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. That was great work, Spyro. Now I can start fixing my machines. Here, I don't have room in my toolbox for this thing anymore. I don't think I'm being very consistent with my voices, but it's fine, it's fun. That's what birds are for. What? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, this is the part where I realized I was missing some gems, and I think I had to go all the way back to the beginning for them, so I'll just skip to the end. There's the giant fan, by the way, that's pushing the ships that are magically floating without steam power. I don't get that. And now that we help the breeze builders defend their home, we now get to turn around and help the land blubbers defend their home. And a lot of people point out that this seems disingenuous of Spyro, like he's some sort of war profiteer or something. But the fact is, he's only helping the people defend their home. Like if Spyro had joined the breeze builders in this level, he would literally be attacking someone's home. That doesn't seem very cool either. So in Breeze Harbor, all the birds are pelicans, and here we got eagles and little Tweety birds and all kinds of stuff. And I'll also point out, the landlubbers attacked with water, and these guys are attacking with explosive rockets. Okay, Spyro, looks like we've got us a bit of a situation here. The breeze builders have got us pinned down, and we've been waiting on a volunteer to blow up their munitions building. Looks like you're it. I don't even know what that voice is. So yeah, I get it. It's kind of sketch to be fighting for both sides. But again, that's actually one of the reasons I like this set of levels. So the eagles drop their bombs to the little guys, and then they shoot the bombs at you. I will say HD Remake did not do justice to these Tweety birds, because in the original, they look similar, they're not as detailed, But when the eagles dropped the missile into their mouth, their bodies went whoop because they're tiny little birds with a giant missile in their gut. Versus in this one, the character model of the little Tweety birds doesn't actually change when they get a missile in them, which I think is kind of lame. But hey, what are you gonna do? These eagles dropping bombs can also be super difficult, because mostly they fly around restocking the little Tweety birds, but then when they do dive bomb you, you have to dodge and attack them like at the same time, and it can be very tricky. See, like look at this guy. Nothing changed. He has this giant bomb in him and nothing changed. Woo, that was close. So hopefully this dub is going all right. On the plus side, I'm probably a lot more coherent than I normally am while playing and talking, but on the downside, you're definitely missing all the like little screams and surprises. I could throw in a few for if you want. Ah! And oh no! Oh my gosh! There you go. Dang cannon just ain't working for me. Do you think you can blast that bird, soldier? Jump up here and give it a try. Okay, can do. The cannons. So we gotta shoot this bird, which, third time's the charm. There we go. Then we gotta attack that door, and there's another door. Oh, I forgot to do it. Oh wait, I think I'll do it here in a minute. I gotta talk to this guy first. Oh, and for some reason the Y button wasn't working. Come on, talk. Yeah, I think I hit a bug where I couldn't talk to him, because I was definitely trying. Nice shooting. And then it worked so hard to get him to talk, and that's all he said. And then I remembered you gotta use the cannon to break that door as well. Just took me a couple tries. Then you also use the cannon on a couple of these. Also, this level took me like a surprising amount of time, so I might be cutting some of the fluff out to keep this episode short as possible. So then we got this guy who rolls a TNT barrel at you. Kind of reminds me of some of the baddies from Spyro 1. Unfortunately, they're not metal barrels, so you can't push them back at the birds. And I don't know why, when I was a kid, I always played Breeze Harbor first, and then this level. I think they could go in any order, although that bird at the end of Breeze Harbor does say, now we can continue with our counterattack on Zephyr. So maybe I always just figured this was the counterattack, and that Tweety bird slapped me. What a jerk. I'm dodging, I'm bobbing, I'm weaving, there he goes. Okay, now this is where the level really opens up. And first thing is that we're gonna go finish the main mission, and then we drop down to do all the fun stuff with the orbs. Also, I noted while I was playing, but the health animals that you kill in this level are little caterpillar worm-looking things, which is interesting because the landlubbers look like weird worm-looking things, which is actually interesting because it kind of rubs my nostalgia wrong. In the original game, maybe they were supposed to be worm things, but because of the limitation of the graphics, they kind of just looked like blobs with mouths. So I always understood them to just be blobs with mouths. Like, they're literally called the land blubbers. They're not called the giant worm people. So I kind of feel weird that in the HD remake, like they gave them a definitive form of some kind of worm thing. And I don't know if I like it or not. I'm leaning towards not, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, this is where we have to use the cannon to shoot down the birds. And oh my goodness. Oh, and that metal chest. But holy cow, getting rid of this bird is annoying, because you have to like literally guess where he's flying and try to hit him. This took me a minute. It always takes me a minute. But eventually, I did get him. And then, oh, you can't go that way until you explode it. I forgot. So we get on the cannon, we shoot this thing, and then it all goes boom. Except I missed. All goes boom. Ta-da! We blew up the munitions building. And somehow this guy survived. Wow, what an explosion! It sure is a good thing I have my helmet on. Oh yeah, the Colonel wanted me to give this talisman to you if you got through the Breeze Builder defenses. Good job, soldier! I like how his helmet is just like a kitchen bowl? What is that, a strainer? Yay, we did it! But the level is not over. In fact, the next couple orb missions took a long time, and they typically do take a long time. So, expect a little bit of fast forwarding here. What you do is you jump down, and then there's 2 different NPCs with missions. One is for these cowlick people, and then the other involves magic beans. So first we came up here and talked to Little Bo Peep, who apparently is a dude. My name is Little Bo Peep, and I've lost my cowlicks. With these battles going on all the time, they keep running away. Can you help me get them back into my pen? Why, sure I can, Little Bo Peep. He definitely didn't have curls in the original. Okay, so we gotta get these cowlicks into the pen. And to do that, we gotta flame or charge them in. Ta-da! And we gotta get 5 of them. And actually where 2 of them are takes us into the region of the other minigame. So we kind of interrupt the cowlick mission. Maybe we should add some effects. That's my fire breathing sound. And charge can be... I will say, this mission was challenging enough in the original game, but both times I've played this now in the Reignited Trilogy, it has been kind of a buggy thing, getting these cowlicks to move. Also, I don't know exactly what a cowlick is. There we go. Alright, the 2 more that we need are back this way. But first, we need to talk to this guy, this sad guy. What light from yonder window breaks? That window up there, dummy. The professor said he was working on a way to help me get back with Juliet, but I haven't seen him in a long time. Find the professor. This is one of those, wow, this is a multi-layered mission. So I think first thing we did was take the enemies out, and then I think I made sure to round up the cowlicks first, because I didn't want to forget about them. Get up there. Also, I realized while playing this, in the original game, your flame attack and your charge attack definitely made the cowlicks respond differently. With the flame attack, they jumped higher. Oh, I threw them back. With the charge attack, they jumped further, but not as high. And apparently, in the Reignited Trilogy, they just made it both be the same thing, with no difference in their reaction. So it took me a while to get this guy up. Okay, 1 across. Now we just gotta get the other guy. And 2 across. There we go. I was really concerned that guy was gonna fall and make me have to restart the whole thing. Okay, the professor's up here. Oh, I forgot I had to do a professor voice. Spyro, my boy, I've got a magic bean, seed, for you in here somewhere. Ah, here it is. Why don't you plant it in the ground and see what grows? Yeah, so magic bean, you plant it in the ground, turns into a magic plant. But what's challenging about this is doing it in the right order, because as you go, you collect more magic beans. But you can only access the magic beans after you've used another one. So I can't quite reach that magic bean from this platform. But if I remove the magic bean and put it in the next spot, that platform is too tall for me to get on. So I need 2 magic beans. Luckily, I know where the one that I need is, even though I definitely didn't remember for a minute at the time. Ta-da! Now I've got 2 magic beans. Also, as a child, I remember being really frustrated by this because for a long time I didn't understand that you could flame the magic plants and get your beans back. Like, I thought once it was done, it was done. So I literally restarted this mission a couple times before I realized all you had to do was flame it and get the bean back. Also, little disappointed that in the remaster, they didn't even bother to animate the bean popping back out of the ground like it used to. When you flamed it, it would go boop, and there was the bean. Now it just kind of appears. So with the 2 layers, we can now collect this bean, which goes right there, which allows us access to the next platform where the next bean is, and I almost fell. So we have to do this a couple times. And this is like, oh, you're halfway there. Here's the professor. Well done, my boy. Here are 2 more seeds to get you the rest of the way. Oh, and take this with you, if you don't mind. It's been cluttering up my pockets. Gee, thanks. That's literally what I'm collecting. Also, if you had 2 more seeds, why didn't you just give them to me? Now, this is the part where you gotta think smart. Because the place where one of these beans goes is actually the platform that you need to stand on to get across to the other side. What you gotta do is, you gotta come up here, and instead of shooting the bean, you gotta leave the bean up here until you can get up with the other bean, which apparently took me a minute to remember. There we go. Now, by making this plant grow, we can cross to the other side, where Juliet awaits. And yes, Juliet is a bird. This is a true Romeo and Juliet story. People from 2 sides finding love. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Oh, there's Romeo. You can have this. I don't need it anymore. I know that was a silly voice, but in the original game, that was actually what happened. They had a guy, the same guy, voicing all of the characters in this level, except I guess the professor. So there was a guy going, Romeo, Romeo, and it was kind of silly and dumb. But they changed that for the remaster, and it's a girl voicing Juliet now. Okay, so with that, we've got the orb. Now we've just got to return the cowlicks. It took me an obnoxious amount of time to get the cowlicks back, but there we go. Thank you, Spyro. Here's a little something for, the effort. First orb, but he's got 2 more cowlicks that he needs you to go save. There are 2 more cowlicks out there somewhere, but I haven't seen them in days. 2 more cowlicks into the pen. Boom. So the 2 cowlicks somehow climbed this ladder and got into this extra area over here, which of course has birds with missiles in it. And this one bird gave me such a hard time. I couldn't get him, but right over there was a super flame power-up. And I thought, ow. No, I didn't think ow. I thought I could just go over there, get the super flame, and then shoot him down. But of course, oh, he got me again. It didn't work out the way that I thought. But I was determined, and he got me again. So now Sparx is dead, and I'm like, how do I get this guy? I dodged that missile, and that's when I decided I should just climb the ladder, then I can shoot him from the high ground. Pull an Obi-Wan. But if you're ever wondering, do enemies attack you if you're not facing them in Spyro? The answer is yes. And there went me. But I went back determined to not die again, even though these stupid birds were giving me so much trouble. The second bird. It's always the second bird. All right, he came in. I jumped. I couldn't hit him. There, I got him. Finally. And now for the actual part of the quest that you're supposed to do, you get the Super Flame power-up. That does make the cowlicks respond different. Makes them shoot way high in the air. And then you can get them out from this stupid canyon. Even though, in fact, I had some difficulty with this because this minigame is really buggy compared to the original. Like, they're not responding the way that they're supposed to respond to the Super Flame. I'm not sure why. Like, they're supposed to, go really high, but they weren't. So it took me a minute. And, this guy got stuck on a bush. And then he disappeared, and I was worried he had glitched out. But from ground level, the cowlicks did actually respond correctly. Oh, and I forgot there was a mystery jar in this level, which was another thing that made it last super long. So I made sure to get them up to the last level, get the coins, and get out. And finally, the buggy mission was over. Not my favorite mission overall, but much better in the original. Well, I am impressed. You got all 7 cowlicks for me. Here's a fair reward. Thanks, little Bo Peep. And the last thing that I had to do now to 100% the level was to go back and find the mystery jar, which was not this way, it was the other way. It took me literally back to the very start of the level, but that was actually okay because along the way I found some gems that I missed anyway. And there you have it. We brought peace to Breeze Harbor. We brought peace to Zephyr, even though it meant playing for both teams. It's not war profiteering, although technically I guess I did profit from it because I took all their gems. But that was that, and I made my way to the end of the level. So there you have it, friends. That is the end of this episode, and that is as far as I have ever gotten in the Reignited Trilogy, which means starting in the next episode, everything that we get to see is new to me. And I'm very excited about that. Next level, we're going to climb up that ladder and see all kinds of new good stuff. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you guys for being part of this adventure. Sorry again about the audio. I hope this dub added some fun. It was different, if nothing else. There you go. This was fun. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. You guys have a fantastic day.